This movie is about the ins and outs of using the percentage and the fraction formatting style. I've got a worksheet set up with some content so I can display some of the ins and outs of using the percentage format and the fraction format. The percentage format, I'm going to left click and drag over C7 to 8, can be found in the number group on the Home tab, which is where we are, in the drop-down menu, left click percentage. And we get a result that we would probably anticipate, where the decimal 0.23 is displayed as 23%, and a whole number 1 would be 100%, so 23 is 2300%. So we can format the cells as usual after we've entered the numbers into the cells. You can also format the cells before you input the numbers, which is what we're going to do next. I'm going to left click and drag D7 to D9, drop down, select percentage, select D7, and input 0.23, enter, and again I get 23%, probably an expected result. But if I put 23 and enter, I still get 23%. In fact, if I want 2300%, I actually have to enter 2300. So there's a difference between formatting before and formatting after. If the cells are already formatted as a percentage, 0.23 and 23, or a decimal and a whole number, will get you the same result. It's just something to be aware of when you're using the percentage format. Left-clicking E7, with the percentage format, you can also format the cells while you're entering the numbers. Currently, E7 is in the general format. I'm going to convert that to the percentage format, and you do it in a way that you might even guess. 23, follow that up with the percent sign, Control Enter, and we've converted E7 to the percentage format. Fractions. I'm going to input a few numbers, 0.5, a couple of decimal numbers, 0.75, 2.75. And then I'm going to left click and drag over those numbers, left click the drop down, and convert the formatting of those three cells to fraction. And we, of course, get fractions. We get 1/2, 3/4, and if I remember from algebra, a mixed fraction, 2 3/4. So we can, of course, format content after we enter the content. And since these cells have the fraction formatting style applied, I'm going to launch the Format Cells dialog box to show you that there are different types available. There's 9 different types available, in fact, and each one of these types is a rounding convention. You can scroll down to select the ones at the bottom. I'm going to cancel out of that. And in column H, I've listed all 9 of these rounding conventions. And in column I8 for instance, is formatted in a fraction format using the 1-digit convention. That's the 2-digit convention, the 3-digit, the halves convention, and so on. And I did this so I can show you the effect of the rounding on a fraction, 580 over 2,000, just to make one up. In the 1-digit style, 580 over 2,000, we get 1 digit in the denominator. When it says 1 digit, it means the number of digits in the denominator. 2 digits is 2 digits in the denominator. Then the numerator is calculated accordingly. 580 over 2,000. Again, 3 digits in the denominator. We can round it to the nearest half, which is 1/2. We can round it in terms of quarters, eighths, sixteenths, tenths, and hundredths. So we can apply the fraction format option to cells that contain values, and we can format the cells and then put values into those cells. But we can also format while we're entering numbers. But you have to be careful about the way you do this. Let's say we want to input the fraction 3/8 in cell J7. 3 divided by 8, Control Enter. I get March 8th. In fact, I get March 8th, 2012. Excel thinks I want to enter a date, and it thinks I want to enter a date for the current year. Both of those things are defaults. And in fact, if you enter 1 divided by 31, I get January 1st, 2012. If I enter 1 divided by 32, Control Enter, I get January 1st, 1932. Now, I haven't tried every possible combination, but if you enter what otherwise looks like a fraction that begins with the number 1 through 12 and divide that by a 1 or 2-digit number, you'll get a date. So how do you enter a fraction? Well, the way you get around this is to input 0, space, and then put your fraction in. 3 divided by 8, Control Enter. I get a fraction displayed. I get the cell J10 formatted as a fraction, and I get the number stored as a decimal. The formula bar shows 0.375, which is the decimal equivalent of 3/8. So we took a look at the percentage and the fraction formatting styles. We found that there was a difference if you formatted the cells before or after with the percentage, where a whole number actually displays as a percent, just like a decimal does. You can control the formatting and change the formatting to the percentage format by following a number with a percent sign. With fractions, you can, of course, format the cells after you have content in the cells. You can format the cells before you put content into the cells. And there are 9 different rounding conventions associated with the fraction format. You have to select one of these. And lastly, you can format the cells while you're entering content or numbers into the cell, but you have to be careful because Excel may assume that you're entering a date. And in order to get around that, input 0, space, and then your fraction.